to the 3-week out vlog. So you just saw a brief physique update. My physique's changing a lot right now, so every time I do a video, I want to start with a physique update just to show you where I'm at, so you can always see like my current physique. Today is a rest day, and what we're going to do is take you through a full day of eating on my rest day. The reason being is because it is literally the lowest my food is going to go this prep probably. Don't really think it's going to get much lower than this on this day. I just had a conversation with AJ this morning because my body weight was stalling a little bit over the last few days, so we've just pulled out some food from today's diet. We're doing changes to today so we can make sure that we're taking effect with the drop, getting the weight dropping down straight away, because we are not far away now at all until we start reversing food. So the plan, I believe, is to reverse food around 10 days out. It's not like set in stone, but around then. And if that's the case, 2 weeks and a half almost out today. So yeah, looking at like about a week left of dieting, maybe 8 days. If that's it, I can't ever do maths when I'm speaking on camera. But it's probably around that. Really, really excited because it's not long now, but we want to make the most out of these last stages. You know, we don't want to miss any days of fat loss. So a drop to food is in today, which was pulling away 20 grams of dark chocolate in one meal and then 25 grams of dark chocolate in a later meal, which has brought fats down quite a bit. So yeah, really low food. I think my food is like 1600 calories, which is fine because it's a rest day. You know, you want to take food away from as far away from your training as possible, provided it's not going to interfere with sleep too much and stuff. So that's the goal. Really pushing along today. Full day of eating. Going to show you guys, you know, how you get shredded. This is it. This is how you get shredded. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy getting shredded, and it's not easy being shredded. And this is going to show you guys, you know, like what you need to do to get down there, these final stages, to really take the last bits of fat off when you've been dieting for a long period of time. Yeah, it's going to be a really useful video, I think, for those that don't compete, and then also those that do, just to see, you know, everyone loves a full day of eating. So I'm going to go do my cardio this morning, fasted cardio, which is always my rest day routine. I don't do too much cardio, it's just on 2 rest days every 8 days, but I'm going to get that done today, and then we'll delve into my food across today and show you guys. So yeah. So if you want a little tip, if you're struggling to get your heart rate up to where you want it to be when you're doing cardio on prep, due to, you know, obviously if you've been doing cardio for a while, you're gonna adapt, and it's gonna be harder to get your heart rate up. So I take this CV Burn, which is really high in caffeine. It's like 450 milligrams of caffeine for 4.5 grams, so 1.5 scoops. That's like the higher dosage, or 1 scoop is roughly 300 milligrams. So I do like a scoop of this before my cardio. It just allows me to basically not work anywhere near as hard to get my heart rate where it needs to be. So I want to get my heart rate of 120 to 140 beats per minute. That's pretty hard at this point in prep. Like, I can do it, but it just means I'm having to work like way too hard and strain my quads and, you know, take away from my recovery. So if I can just do a little bit less intensity and get my heart rate there, then happy days. Like, yeah, it also is a lot of caffeine, but that also suppresses my appetite on a day when my food's really low. So it has this nice sort of dual effect. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to head to the gym. So rest day cardio just finished, really enjoyed it. That CV Burn, because I've been devoluming caffeine all week, like we're just reducing it, I really felt it, and I just whack a mix on, a drum and bass mix, so I just get after it. Just thinking about the condition, like it's important though, like don't overdo it on the cardio. It's very easy to sometimes get a bit like, oh, I want to do more. It was windy as fuck, so I just thought I'd wait and film again. So yeah, just on the way back now. Got 15k steps to do today, so 15-minute walk now will contribute to that. I like to do a lot of my steps earlier on in the day, just so I'm taking all expenditure as far away from training as possible. So then once I'm eating carbs, I can just put my feet up, relax, you know, just preserve that fullness, and just alleviate that stress off, and just go into the session with minimal like fatigue or anything. So that's the plan. So I'm gonna do a lot of steps now, get back, do client check-ins, and yeah, I'll show you my first meal. So we've got my first meal of the day. So I've actually fasted until like 10:30. I've pushed my meals back, just it helps a little bit with hunger, you know, having a smaller window in between feedings. As long as I'm leaving 2 hours, you know, it's fine. It does the job. So first meal is 250 grams of 0% phase yogurt, 15 grams of whey isolate, and then 20 grams of crunchy nut butter mixed in. So good, especially with the crunchy bit. And then on the side, 200 grams of blueberries, which is really good because it's very high volume, low carb food. So if you're very hungry, you know, blueberries are great because I can eat a lot of them after, and it's just it's extending the amount of time that I'm spending eating, which really helps with hunger. You know, it takes a while for your body to actually realise it's full. So it's taking time with your food will only help. What I do is I eat the yogurt first, and afterwards I'll just snack on the blueberries and take my time with it. So yeah, this is no carbs, just 10 grams of fat from the nut butter. It's around 50 grams of protein, like 10 grams of carbs from the yogurt, or 8 carbs from the yogurt, and then like, I think like 10 grams of carbs from the blueberries. So it's 20 grams of carbs, 50 protein, 10 fat for meal 1. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. This is a really nice meal. I enjoy this a lot. I love 0% yogurt. It's so good. It's so high in protein, really low in fat, and you can mix it with protein. It's like a dessert. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. Chicken and veg, so boring, but it does the job of fat loss. I like to cut up the chicken into like small bits and then just put it in the air fryer, and you get like crispy like chicken bites. That's how I like to have my chicken. So yeah, if you don't have an air fryer, I think I say this every eating video, I'm like, if you don't have an air fryer, get one. But honestly, I live by it now. I can't remember what it's like to fry chicken anymore. So yeah, gonna cut this up, season it, all that stuff. You're ready to see the chicken. Look at that. Crispy goodness. The good thing about this is it's so low in calorie, you can have so much. Like one serving is 6 calories, like it's meal 2. This meal is 200 grams of chicken. Well, let's just 200 grams of chicken and 200 grams of greens. So I have 300 grams of greens today. I found that I struggle most at these times, so like around midday is when hunger's highest. So what I like to do is do 200 grams of greens for this meal, and the next meal will be a little less because I can manage the hunger a little bit better being a bit later in the day. I find as the day progresses, the hunger drops down. I'm always hungriest at this point. So that's why I'm having a lot of greens here, and it's a really good tool because it's very low carb, high volume food, like the blueberries. So 200 grams chicken, 200 grams greens, nothing, boring, no carbs, just struggling. I'm getting on with it though, to be honest, like this is fine. I'm used to this now, but this is what's gonna do the work with fat loss, you know. Low carbs at the very end is what's needed. Not crazy low, but you know, we're gonna have to dig at some point to get, if you want striated glutes, you just can't get away with eating above probably like 200 carbs per hour, and if you can, you've just got a fucking crazy metabolism, I'll be honest. So got Milo with me. But I thought right now, just chilling out, would be a good time to answer a couple of questions. So I'm doing a Q&A on my Instagram, and I thought I'd do some questions on here, so you can get some sort of more educational sort of stuff in this video, not just about food. The first question that I got, which I want to talk about here, was when should you mini cut? Now this is extremely person dependent, based on like, you know, body fat in terms of, you know, you never really want to technically surpass like that sort of 20% level of body fat. However, everyone will differ so much on how they perform at that body fat and whether performance will improve pushing body weight past that and you know what stages you need blood glucose to be in a better position through dieting. Everyone differs. Now for myself, I've found that I perform better in a slightly leaner body composition. Now other people, they might perform better at holding a lot more body fat, and they may just be in a really good run with things. And I think that also depends on what stage you're at. If you've never ever done a bulk before, then take time in that phase. Don't go in and out doing loads of mini cuts. Just take time and get strong at lifts and just keeping that momentum. You don't want to shift that momentum. The minute you diet, you're gonna not be able to gain muscle anymore, and you're gonna be out that groove of your training. So yeah, it's just about finding like when that performance does start to drop off and you notice diminishing returns. But everyone will differ drastically here. Something that you can really look into is, look at your numbers. You should be logbooking, seeing how your numbers are improving. See at what rate your body weight increases relative to performance increasing. If your body weight is going up at the same rate and your performance increasing, and the rate of performance increasing is dropping off quite a lot, that could be a sign that soon you might need a mini cut. Another thing you want to look at is when body weight does climb, what ratio of that is fullness versus body fat, because the less sensitive you are to insulin, the more you'll see body fat accrued as opposed to muscle tissue, and that differs based on every person. But once you see your body weight climbing at the same rate, but you just feel like you're softer, you don't really feel fuller, your pumps in the gym are getting worse, your recovery, this is an important one, your recovery is slower, and your overall performance is not moving in the same direction, that's when you need to do a mini cut. The key here is delaying that mini cut for as long as possible by taking your time pushing calories. So do not rush it, do not just throw food at yourself, because you're gonna have to mini cut sooner. But yeah, basically it differs from person to person. Another question that I had was what's the most food you've ever been on? I know I said I wouldn't talk about food, but I thought that's a good question. So the most food I've ever been on in my life was 5,000 calories in 2021, around that. It was around like 650 carbs, 100 grams of fat, like 350 grams of protein, which was stupid. Don't do that, you don't need to have that much protein. You live and you learn. But yeah, and that goes with another question that I got asked, which was what was the highest body weight I've ever been at, which was around 95 kilos at that time. And I really believe that if you haven't got prep nearby, pushing and getting strong, like I said, it's necessary. It served the purpose in putting on the muscle that was required. How has my prep been? How's prep been so far? So yeah, this prep, you probably heard, if you follow my YouTube a lot, you've probably heard me say it a lot before, has been so much easier than past preps. Just dieting on a lot more food, even though food is low today, still a lot more food. Just losing at a nice steady rate. The stress of being ready isn't there because I know we're on track. And I pulled off, I started at 89 kilos and I've pulled off 12 kilos, whereas last prep, I pulled off 21 kilos. So doing an hour of cardio every single day, and yeah, it was just too much, like way too much. Whereas this time round, I feel good, my energy's great. If my missus, if Ruby asked me to do something for her, I can easily do it. I can be there, I can be the dad to Milo, and I'm not struggling. Like, yes, it's hard, this prep is hard, but nowhere near as hard as it's been in the past, and it never needs to be that hard. If your coach is putting you on 0 carbs on training days, that's just, something's gone wrong there, I'll be honest. Like, it's not needed, it shouldn't be needed, you shouldn't put a client through that. If prep can be done in a nicer way, then manage things in an appropriate way to do that. So yeah, Milo's probably getting a bit impatient just sat here, so I'm going to leave it there. But just a few questions I thought I'd talk about on here to make this video a little bit more interesting than just me showing you my meals. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and yeah, we'll do a full Q&A, another video at some point. So yeah. So we've got my next meal here, which is literally basically the same as the last meal. So it's 200 grams of chicken, but this time it's even worse. It's not 200 grams of greens, it's 100 grams. So still minimal carbs right now. because we are doing the work with this fat loss. You know, we're digging in. So this is 60 grams of protein, 5 grams of carbs, you know, literally like 3 grams of fat, around that. It's a very low calorie meal. At the end of the day, if you want to get pilled, like I'm talking contest lean pilled, you're going to have to do meals like this, you know, just protein and veg, protein and veg. It's extremely monotonous, it's repetitive, but you know, like I said, it does the job. I like to also prioritise carbs at the end of the day, so I'm getting the carbohydrates closer to bedtime and also my session tomorrow, so that way I'm going into the session as full as possible. And it's going to be very marginal, that, but like, it's a mental thing as well. Like, if I think that I'm going into the session full, chances are it's going to help mentally in terms of how I get after my sets and believing I can perform well. So the last no carb type of meal, and then it gets better. But this is it now. You know, we're in it right now. Feeling hungry, energy's low, but we're doing the work with fat loss, and we're literally so close now to peak week. So almost there. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this as much as I can, and we'll catch you in the next video with a definitely a more enjoyable meal. Back again, and guess what we're having? Yeah, chicken again, but this time it's a little bit different. It's funny how like just repetitive and like boring this this diet is. That is prep at the end of the day. What I'll do is when I'm at the polar opposite and I'm eating the most food I've ever eaten before, or the most food I'm eating, I will do a video of that, and we can compare the foods, and I guarantee that video will be a lot more entertaining. But you know, this is interesting because it's just showing you guys like what it takes to get pilled. You know, this is it. So yeah, just gonna put some chicken in the air fryer again for meal number 4, and I'm so hungry now, but the hunger drops off a little bit as we move into the evening, so I'm not feeling too bad now. I felt a little bit worse like an hour ago, but yeah, just pushing along. Let's make this food and actually eat some carbs. So chicken and mushrooms are air fried. I love mushrooms because they're so low cal. So 200 grams of mushrooms in there, and then the chicken's cooked as well. I need to get one of those air fryers that is actually a dual air fryer instead of just stacking it on top and put it in later. That would change the game. I need to do that because this is a bit of a hassle. The most exciting, well actually not the most exciting, but almost the most exciting meal. Meal 4, finally we've got carbs. White potato, 200 grams, 150 grams of chicken breast, and then 200 grams of mushrooms. So after all that, I'm finally getting some good carbs. You know, like I said earlier, I push my carbohydrates back later on in the day, so I can prioritize carbs nearer my training, and also so I get a better night's sleep. So I've done 3 meals now of low carbs. I've got 150 grams of carbs left, and that's in this and then the next meal. So yeah, I cannot wait for this meal. I'm gonna savor every spoon of that potato and eat it super slowly. I put a tiny bit of low calorie, lighter than light mayo. I put a tiny bit of that in just to make it a bit less dry. There's like 5 calories extra. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. That is unreal. I don't know what it is about potato, but it just hits so well when you're on prep. It's like your body just knows that it's carbs and it's like what it wants. Oh, it's so good.
So we're pulling food today and we're gonna have to push really hard.
Just getting some steps in, just a short walk in the evening with Milo and Ruby. But this view is just insane. Such a beautiful walk. Which is on our doorstep. Which is on our doorstep. Which is on our doorstep. on our doorstep, luckily enough. But just a short walk, just to relax. I always love steps, even in the off season. It just helps switching off. That's what it's about, just breathing in the air and being relaxed and chilled. Shut up. I think you're so funny. I'm just going to show you what I have before bed. So this is called Supreme Sleep by Conte Sports. It's mostly like ashwagandha, 600 milligrams of ashwagandha per scoop, alpha GPC, magnesium, really good L-theanine, 5-HTP, things that really help with sleep. So I take this like an hour before bed with my last meal, and it's just to help me get to sleep really. I do it every night and it has helped a lot. Just staying in deep sleep as well. So it's literally just 7 grams, so I just mix this. It's quite sad really when you're at that point in prep, you're like enjoying like sleep stack supplements. And I cannot wait for this. So 100 grams of oats, look at that volume, so much, with 100 grams of raspberries. And then what I do is I eat that first, and then I'll have Greek yogurt after. So instead of adding protein to this, it just extends the time I'm eating. I'm having protein separately from Greek yogurt. So I take my time with the oats, and yeah, this is the meal that's seen some drops, a drop in calories. So I used to have 20 grams of nut butter and 25 grams of dark chocolate with this meal. We pulled that today, so that's going to really take effect now. And yeah, this is where the food really drops down. This meal was 67 carbs. With the Greek yogurt it's like 75 grams of carbs. It's 30 grams of protein around that. And with the raspberries as well, it's like 80 grams of carbs, and then 8 grams of fat from the oats. So it adds up to stay to like 150-ish grams of carbs, 210 grams of protein, and then like 30-ish grams of fat. So it's roughly around 1600 calories now that we're finishing today's calories on, which is the lowest my food will probably go on prep, to be honest. In terms of rest days, I doubt we'll pull much more away from my rest days, but we'll see. But we're doing the work. I can't wait now. 2.5 weeks out. This is a 3-week out vlog, full day of eating. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We're going to keep the videos coming. Now we're getting so close to the show. And yeah, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Let's get this last bit of fat loss underway, and I think Milo agrees. Like and subscribe. I think that's what he's trying to say. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Going to chill out now, watch some TV and relax. So see you soon.